I'm Annie.
And I'm Leah.
And this is Lactation Business Coaching with Annie and Leah, where we talk about the smart way to create a compassionate and professional private practice.
Let's dive in.
Hey there, Leah.
Hey, Annie. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Doing very well.
Looking forward to talking about this topic today because it's something I feel comes up a lot when we're just like in the context of whatever episode we're recording. We talk a lot about how we try to think about taking care of our future selves. And we were joking before we came on that we don't really do a great job of it. So
Totally. It is a work in progress, but it's a concept that we want to share because it can help guide your tasks and your thought processes and just this kindness towards ourselves. We spend a lot of time being really kind to the people we take care of and making sure their future selves are well cared for and those babies are well cared for. But could we turn that on ourselves by just having a framework for the concept of how do we take care of ourselves? That's the thing that I think maybe it does for me.
yeah, I know. I do try to think about it in terms of I can get so focused on, okay, what do I need to do today? And let me like cram everything in today and not thinking about, okay, if I keep cramming things in, am I going to ever take a break? And the answer is no. And so I need to take a break now because I need to train my future self to take breaks. That makes sense.
That could make sense. Yeah. That you would get better and better at being aware of when you'd need to take a break. I think sometimes what it does for me is if I'm wrapping up my day maybe and I'm like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything else. I just want to crash in bed and just be like, forget the world, turn the lights out. And then I'll think, future Leah will not appreciate that you did not switch your scrubs from the washer to the dryer. I'll literally think of that. I'll be like, she will not be happy with you. She will be so sad. Okay, fine. I'll walk back downstairs and throw them in the dryer. Or I don't feel like doing this, or I don't feel like doing that. And then it'll make me, oh yeah, but I could be nice to future Leah and like actually do that. And then maybe set me up for a bit more success. Yeah, that's how sometimes it guides me. And I literally think of that. I'll be like considering how mad I'll be at myself tomorrow. And I'll be like, oh, how mad will Leah be? She'll be pretty ticked off about that one. Got two different people here. Maybe this is a bigger psychiatric problem. No, I'm considering myself in all these different realms. But it is really helpful because I think we have to think of the implications of what we do today will impact tomorrow. So it's helpful to consider like how you'll feel about, like you said, with taking a break. Like, how will I feel about this next week or even tomorrow when I stayed up till midnight trying to cram in, like you were saying.
Totally. One way that I do feel like I'm, I guess, somewhat successful in taking care of my future self is in some of the automations that I've set up. So like, I don't have to think about, did my clients get the right forms? Because my charting platform, all of that is set up. If once the appointment is confirmed, everything happens automatically. And I really do just have to just wait for it to be done. I don't have to go in and be like, okay, now I have to remember to send this form and that form. They do have to check them to make sure they're completed. And there are some reminders that have to go in that have to happen if people don't fill them out. But I also have that set up inside. I use intake queue. I have tasks set up that are connected to the forms. And there's like a task that's like, when a form gets submitted, I get tagged to review it. But there's also a task that pops up the day before an appointment that says, check to see if the forms are completed. So I don't even have to think about that. I log in intake queue, that reminder is there. And that really helps me not be, I definitely am a completist and a checker. And I'm like, and so I can get, oh no, I have to check. I'll check one thing. And then I'm like, oh no, let me check every appointment I have this week.
Yeah. Yes.
And then I'm like, okay, where did 2 hours go? That was
Right.
terrible. That was a terrible way to spend my time. It's like clicking on and being like, oh, okay, yeah, this went. No. So I'm just like, it's set up. Just gonna trust it. Sometimes it doesn't work. Every once in a while, like they book too soon and they don't too close to the visit and the COVID form doesn't go out, but
Right.
that's also okay. Like it all works out. I don't need to be constantly monitoring it for it to work.
Yeah, those automations are huge, and I have similar forms that go out. I even have, because I love my little task reminders. As a side note, my admin knows that if she wants something done, just go put it on the intake queue tasks, because I love to check those off, like just the thrill of being like, and I did that, and I did that, and it's back to 0. It's so exciting to me. But I also have a task because I like to send like a personal follow-up text to just say, hey, I'm thinking about you guys, hoping the week has gone well. Let me know if, that's kind of just my style of something that I do. And I don't even have to think about when that has to happen. I'll just have like my automated tasks coming up for that. And that just frees my mind because I know I have a place that I'm going to stop and check back in with every single person that I've encountered in the last week. So it has freed my little brain a little bit in that, like, sometimes I'll get a little bit of everybody's situation swirling in my head and I'm thinking about them and wondering how it's going. And I'm working on that, like letting these things go. And this is part of my letting these things go is okay, I'm not going to think about them unless necessary until my tasks come up for that person. And then I know that I have a place to stop and apply my focus to them and check back in and make sure all is well there. The other way, though, that I have found that I'm really turning to a lot more is like external support, because you know what? That is a way to take care of ourselves, is to get the help we need so that we're not bogged down, that we're not overwhelmed. Like I have been, and I know we've talked about this before, but like more open to hiring the support that I need or finding those people that I know could fill a gap for me that will make me feel better in the future. You know what I mean? Also, hiring just another lactation consultant in the moment, it feels like so much work because you're like, I gotta train this person, but like future me will really appreciate this. So I've been thinking about that a lot too. And I think that's something you have expressed to me too. Like, I am hiring these people or changing these things because I know even though it sucks in the moment to like train and all of that, it's future me will be so happy that I pushed through in this moment and got this done. Right.
That's definitely been my experience with taking on independent contractor this spring. I took on an independent contractor and an intern who was completing her pathway 3 hours. And at the same time that I opened my office
Wow.
and was prepping for the supplementation conference that I did in the spring. And it all kind of happened at once. And I was like, this is a lot. And I never would have chosen for all these things to be happening at the same time. But that said, it really was so good to have the office in place, because then during the conference, and there were a lot of lives, I was like, I'm just going to be in my office 2 days a week, and I'm only going to see people in the office, and I'm not going to add another layer of complexity with home visits. And that has definitely been the right decision. Like it really has created a lot of rest inside my schedule, not feeling like I'm just so crammed to get everything done. And then having my independent contractor working with me. First of all, she's amazing. She's great. The clients love her.
Oh, that's so
She's
awesome.
so good at her job, so great clinically, and has amazing communication skills, but also knowing that like I can go away and she will answer people's questions for me. I don't
Hmm.
have to be monitoring stuff. And that's the piece where just having that continuity and having my intern available, we had her do some just check-ins with people that I've never been able to do. She got some of her hours by doing prenatal consultations. We just offered them for free, and she does a great prenatal. We got great feedback from the
That's
people who
awesome.
worked with her. And then it's like, that's meeting a need. The people now have a very warm feeling about City Lactation because I have these, it's not just me putting myself out there, it's me and these other people who are so warm and so skilled and available. Like we can just balance each other out really well. So yes, it was a lot of work and definitely been worth it for this team that I've put together.
So future Annie will be thanking you
Yeah,
continuously.
definitely. But the other thing too, thinking about something you and I've talked about is like our approach to taking time off, which I know is something you and I both struggle with, is like
Absolutely. Yeah,
feeling
it's
that,
so hard.
like, what for you is the hardest part about planning to take time off? Like, what's the thing that most gets in your way?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think it's this kind of like sense of pressure, like from the fact that there's somebody that wants to see me and they want to have it be, soon. They don't want to wait another week. And so the people pleaser in me is if they want it and need it and essentially can do it, even though I want to take time off, I can physically do it. I feel this pressure of it's really hard to choose me over their need. And that's, again, things I'm working on. But it's also, I think, as an entrepreneur and a business owner, I feel like we all have this sense of pressure. If I take too much time off, will I lose business? Will people be frustrated with not being able to get in with us? There's a lot of like pressure that comes from that too, just and then also like from financial. If I don't work, not as much money coming in. So I threw this like so multi-layer that I usually just succumb to the pressure versus pushing through it. And so you really have to take me like off the planet. I can't do staycations very well. I wish I could go off the planet. I can't, but I really have to be like literally physically somewhere where I cannot do, no way, no chance could do any kind of consultation. Then maybe I will take a break. But it's hard for me to do like a staycation or I'm just going to take a few days off work and just be home doing stuff. That's harder for me. I know you're a little bit better at that. Your boundaries are definitely a bit better in that area.
That it's something though that is because of when I was first, my early years of my private practice, I was also homeschooling my kids, and it was like real homeschooling, like real. It's all homes, not
Yeah.
we were like homeschooling by choice, by volition, not because a pandemic made us homeschool, and that whole thing
Right.
was very different. But I had really known that I was never available to just work whenever I wanted to work. There was always a lot of planning.
Right.
And what I also realized was that if I took a vacation, when I came back, I knew that my kids would need, we all needed like some reentry time, or there would be things happening. And so I got in the habit of just blocking off time before and after my vacation. And the main thing that I started doing originally was a week before I'm going on vacation, no new clients. It's
Mm,
all follow-ups
yeah.
until the day before I'm going on vacation. I would open up a last minute new client spot because I'm like, you're
Gotcha.
not going to hear from me until I get back, but you'll be okay. I'll just schedule you for
A
right
visit
when I
right
get back.
back. Yeah. Yeah.
And that also worked out well. But then I was like, I'm still like having the problem of having to like deal with scheduling while I'm on my vacation to make sure that like,
Yeah.
if I'm gone 7 days and Monday's my first day back, and I'm like, I need to make sure I've got consults the first day back. And that was
Yeah.
starting to make me really tired. And my family would be like, leave us alone, like leave your phone alone, pay attention to us. So now I'm like, well, that all has to wait till I get back. So if I go on vacation, I come back on a Saturday, I'm not seeing clients on Monday. I might not even be seeing clients on Tuesday. I could if like I had a last minute request. And instead of saying like I could or I can't, I probably can't, because then you can talk yourself into it. I'll just say, I'm just not available. I'm not available. And
Yeah.
knowing that to satisfy whatever desire I have to be productive during those days and not feel like a loaf sitting around, I'm sure something will happen that will require me to work in some
Right.
capacity on those
Always.
days.
Yeah.
But not that like now I have to jump right back in and go do 3 home visits. So,
That's a very
and
smart way to take care of future Annie's vacationing self.
because, when
Like,
you go on vacation with kids, it's like also never actually a full
right, like a
vacation.
full vacation. I know,
Have
because
you
there's
seen
so
like
much like
that?
orchestration of it all and packing and unpacking, and yeah, it's so much work.
You seen that like meme that was like family goes to the beach to find out it's just like being at home only with sand. And you're
Yeah.
like, you're still like cooking, you're still cleaning, and there's sand. I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
like I
That
can
is
relate to that.
so true. So true. I know. That's really a smart way to think about taking time off. If it is for like a vacation, like a way that you could take care of your future self, is to like also make that transitioning back into work. Yeah. So this is hint, hint, Leah, this message is for you, because Annie knows I'm about to go on vacation, and she's like, Leah, what are you doing?
I mean, like, but like,
Yourself
here's the
after,
thing,
but
if you were your own employee, you would have to give yourself a certain number of vacation days. And listen, I'm not trying to to choose violence during this podcast episode, but do you take enough vacation days in a year? Do you take as many vacation days as you are like allowed to take as
right.
like a human?
Yeah. And the answer is
I don't
probably no. The answer is probably no. It's such a good reminder. And you and other people that I've been around in this field have been such great examples, and keep reminding me of all the ways that I could do better for future Leah, and she'll be so happy and so relaxed, and like have, more energy to give when we do these things. And I think that's the framework of thinking about that. If you've come to a moment where you're like, should I do this or should I do that? Sometimes it's helpful to just go, what would future, insert your name, really appreciate me doing right now? And sometimes it helps you just think of yourself as a separate person that you're caring for, because that's really our mentality as consultants. I think we oftentimes are just like very much in the mindset of caring for these other people. And so it almost plays on our desire to take care of another person by almost separating ourselves from ourselves, in this sense of what would this person really appreciate. And then sometimes we can do things for ourselves that we really wouldn't necessarily choose. The framework of it has really helped me in so many ways. And I think what I hear you saying is it's also been a nice way. I remember in one of our very early podcasts, this is where some of this came from. You were like, how would future Annie feel if I didn't have gloves or something? I think it's about ordering gloves. It is like, I think this must have been like episode like 3 or something. I so vividly remember that, because it was one of those moments where I was like, oh, it's such a good way to think about it. And then we've just continued to think about it that way. But yeah, is future Annie doing better with the glove ordering? Like
No,
past Annie
future
for
Annie,
future Annie is
no.
not getting the
Future Annie is still
mad at past
terrible. Yeah, past Annie is still living on with future Annie. What I think future Annie wants is a day off.
Annie.
And so to give future Annie a day off, I just work all the time. I'm like, oh, I don't have anything to do right now. Let me just catch up on stuff. Because at some point in the future, Annie's going to take a day off. But future Annie never does take a day off.
Yep.
Because is always something to do. There's like that, I forget, there's some like name for it, but like work will always expand to fill the container that you give it. And I give work too much of a container. Like it's my identity. I also have like the dopamine rush from working, like whatever.
Or
and then we were watching
off those little tasks.
Yeah. And like just feeling productive. And we were watching, my family and I've been rewatching 30 Rock as a family. And there's an episode in the first season where Jack Donaghy, the CEO person or whatever, head chairman of General Electric, has a heart attack, and Liz Lemon goes to visit him in the hospital. And he's like, Lemon, I saw so many things flash before my eyes. And I thought, I came to the end, I saw the light. And I was like, if the end is near. And he goes, and I realized something. I should have worked more.
Oh no.
Such a perfect punchline. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I got a little too much Jack Donaghy in me, where I'm like, there's always something I could do. And so I think what I was trying to say at the beginning of the episode is, I think what future Annie wants is, future Annie doesn't want to feel like, future Annie wants to exist.
Yeah.
And she might want to exist like now, like today, not at some vague point in the future. I think basically I have been preventing future Annie from being birthed.
Yes, let that baby out. Come on. Release and feel the opening. I'm not a doula. Probably not say all the right things right now. But yeah,
I'm,
we can't even talk. That was so funny.
I'm
But I feel you, because if you're always working for a time that you never let yourself be, like you said, like I'm always working thinking, oh, this will be so helpful because in the future I'll want to take a day off, but then you never do. It's like, oh wait, you're actually burning the candle at both ends, literally, because the other end never gets to exist. It's that true statement. And the truth is, like you said, like we're never going to come to the end of it and see the light and be like, gee, I wish that I had slaved more hours over over that, tweaking my charting platform. Like we're going to be like, oh, I'm thankful that I had time to do the things that really matter in my life. That's probably what we're going to be thinking. We hope that this framework and all these also funny side notes have brought you to a point to understand that we care about you guys so much, and we want you to care about you so much that you'll think about each day how you might be able to take care of your future self, and then also let your future self be birthed.
okay. I will induce labor today. No, I'm going to go for a
Really?
long walk is what I'm going to do.
Yes.
A nice long walk. I'll get my toes done.
Yeah.
I'll read my book. All those things you're supposed to do when you're trying to have a baby. I'll do
Yes.
other things that you're supposed to do when you're trying to have a baby. It'll be great. Future
Yes.
Annie is coming. I promise.
Yes,
So
I hope so, because she needs to be here and take her moment of rest and relaxation that you've been working so hard to
definitely.
give her. Well, it's been
Well,
fun having this conversation today. Fun in so many ways. And
so fun.
I look forward to our next conversation.
Me too. It was great, Leah. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. To learn more about our monthly deeper dives and how to support our podcast for as little as $1 a month, visit lactationbusinesscoaching.com. Don't forget to leave us a rating and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode.